So before you start playing trumpet, some of the breathing techniques that really help are being able to take in a really big deep breath, so, and then holding it like kind of in your stomach, and then making that embouchure and kind of like sending it to the opposite side of the room. It really helps because when you're playing the trumpet, you're doing that exact same motion. So if you do that a couple times before you play, you'll be more prepared. So again, it would be a deep inhale. And then holding it right here, not in your chest, but in your diaphragm. And then kind of like a very direct airstream. So if you do exercises like that, you will be more prepared, and it will help you to play the trumpet. So one thing about breath support is that I've noticed that when I play the trumpet, it's hard for me to get higher notes out, and that I need to put my lips in a different position than when I'm playing the lower notes. So in order to get those higher notes out, you're going to need to kind of, as you're blowing the air quicker through the mouthpiece, as you're shooting that air through the instrument, everything kind of tenses up, and it tenses up your muscles, which makes the airstream better, which will make the quality of the sound a lot better because you have a more direct airstream, and it will be a lot stronger because you're using the muscles in your lungs and in your diaphragm. Before we start playing, we are going to go over the tonguing techniques. So let's start by buzzing again. So once you have your buzz back, so there would be like tonguing, like t t t t while you're buzzing. So like so your tongue kind of like t makes a T sound that hits the top of your mouth. And so another one of the tonguing techniques is kind of a more legato. So it'd be like so kind of like a D sound, like a D sound, instead of more like a T, which is more like attacking, which is what makes the difference between like staccato and legato. So those are the tonguing techniques. So staccato. And then legato. So we are going to go through the fingerings. So the first one that I would recommend is learning the C scale. So your first, second, and your third valve. So in the C scale, you have your C, which is open, and D is your first and your third, and then your E is your first and your second, and then F is just your first, and then G is open. And I'm going to pause here because in the beginning I said C was also open, so because like when I was talking about the power of the airstream earlier, if you have a slower airstream, you're going to get the lower note out, which is C. And then if you have a quicker airstream, which you're going to need to have to play the G, you're going to get that G. So there are a lot of double fingerings for a lot of notes, and that's why it's so important to learn how to breathe properly so you can get those lower notes out and the higher notes out. So you have your G, and then your A is your first and second, your B is in the middle, and then high C is open. So again, you have to shoot the air through the instrument quicker to get the high C and the G. And then the opposite is putting less air through it so you can get the lower notes. So now we're going to actually play, and make sure you have your correct hand positions. So you have your pinky, and then your ring finger, and then your middle finger, and you have all those. And then on this side, you have your thumb down here, and then you have your three on top, and then you have your pinky. So we're going to start by playing a C scale. So here we go. So I got up to G, and I just wanted to demonstrate a C, open position. And my lips for that position were kind of like a relaxed type of embouchure. And then for the G, everything tightens up. So as you can see the difference between before, where my muscles were relaxed. Okay, and then you can really see it. So that's the difference between the embouchure when you're trying to get low notes out, when you're trying to get higher notes out. So I'm going to keep going. So that was a C scale. And as you could tell, my embouchure got different as I got higher and higher. So I'm now going to go back down. So that is the C scale. And it's really important for the quality of the sound to be really clear. So like this. And because when people start out, sometimes they'll sound like this. So the difference between the really clear sound and the not so clear sound was, again, the importance of the embouchure and making sure that the muscles are active and making sure that everything's kind of working together and in the right position. So I'm going to demonstrate playing without the right embouchure and then playing with the right embouchure. So this is without. And so in that case, my lips weren't together in the corners, and there was a lot of air going through, coming out of my mouth in all different directions. And that's not good because you need to have the air go straight through the hole. This is the right way to do it. So thank you for watching, and I hope you're able to play the trumpet successfully. Thank you.